about how tired you are. If you're tired, there's nothing you can do. You know, you're tired and your voice will be not great and you can't push and you don't hear really well. So you have to go with the situation, especially because we play all kind of places. We play clubs, we play arenas, we play...
I am here with Cristina and Andy, Andrea, from Lacuna Coil, and I'm so excited to be interviewing you. Just a little bit about sort of where I come from. I'm very focused on vocals, and so I am always fascinated to speak with bands who have performed for long periods over time, because you've had to sustain the things that you've done vocally but also musically, and so I've got some questions about performance life and then also singing wise, like, because you both do very different things.
Yes, yes we do.
And so I'd love to get a little bit more of an insight on that, how you decide what balance, like where it fits in a song. So first of all, just a nice general question, how are you enjoying Brisbane?
So far, so good. I mean, we've been in Brisbane before. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the show will be amazing. I mean, all good things festival. It's been great. We love the vibe. We love the crowds. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to be back, and tomorrow we're actually gonna go see some koalas and kangaroos, and
so excited. Yeah.
So we were enjoying it. And then we have one more show with Gojira at the Tivoli the next day, so we stay here for 3 days, so we can have more time to enjoy.
Amazing. And have you had some of those like classic Aussie foods like Vegemite?
Oh my God, yeah, yeah, we're not huge fans
Yes.
of Vegemite. Don't hate us.
everything.
Don't hate us. Don't hate us. I like better, to have like Ex Benedict, and
Yeah.
I ate a lot of avocado because the avocado is perfect here. It's always hard. I'm a big fan of avocados, and here is absolutely perfect. Perfect.
Beautiful. And not a Vegemite fan either.
No, even a Marmite. In Europe,
Marmite.
in Europe, in the UK, Marmite is a big thing. But I never really got into it.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like that in Italy, so maybe that's just not our flavor traditional.
Yeah, well, I mean, Italy has amazing food, of course, so you're like, why would I eat anything else?
We don't need to cover it with sauce.
Shots fired, spicy opinion. Okay. All right, well, in your time as obviously a band that has been able to play in lots of places all over the world, do you have any like pre-show rituals that like get you in the zone before you get on stage?
We usually take like an hour. We calculate an hour of preparation, and that's where each one of us enters in the zone. Right before the show starts, at the beginning of the intro, we have some, some movements, some things that we say. We encourage each other.
We just added one ritual from the last couple of years. Our guitar tech, Steven, is doing he's very good at break dance.
Oh, okay.
So he's doing, while our intro is rolling, he's doing some break dance right
moves. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. We love to let the pressure go and laugh before we start. So it's kind of strange, but it works for us. We get to enter in the mood, and then we start laughing, and we just go.
And do these rituals evolve over time, or do you just get new ones?
Some like I think there are some that are more personal. Like everybody kind of get in the right mood alone, and then we meet right before we go on stage, and those are more or less the same, plus this new addition of the break dancing and stuff like that. So.
Amazing. I mean, the breakdancing, that's really funny.
Metal breakdance, it works.
What does a metal breakdance look like?
What do we do?
Exactly. Breakdance over metal music.
I mean, I'm sure that is going to look very cool. Maybe even more intense than regular breakdancing.
You should come check it out right before we go on stage.
Okay. So we got to make it right before they go on stage.
And people think we're really serious and focused, and then but we're not.
Okay.
We just like dance to get into the mood.
All right. So that's your prep for getting in the zone. When it comes to the singing prep, because obviously you're a clean vocalist and you're a harsh vocalist. So what things do you do differently to prep your voice before you go on stage or just before you go on tour? Because I know after a while your voice is kind of always in a semi-warmed up state because you've been singing a lot.
I gotta be honest, I never warm up. But for me, it's about how much you sleep, how physically you're in shape. For me, like sleeping is the most important thing. It's my warm up. Okay. So if I'm well rested, I just go for it, and I almost warm up along the show because if I warm up, it doesn't work for me. I get bored. I don't know.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't do it.
Amazing.
Yeah, we just drink Jack Daniels and then go on stage, basically.
Yeah, or it's just a little and okay, let's go.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't even have time.
Oh, okay, wow. So
because I mean, you do interview, okay, get ready, 1 hour, and you just go for it.
We've tried to be more serious about it, like doing the routines with the tape and with all the exercise. But in the end of the day, when you sing every day, it gets you more tired than actually not doing so much. You do a little bit, just very light, just some breathing, some a little with the closed mouth, you know, something not loud, not too much. You go high and low with that, and you're fine. You know, you don't need to, because you sing every day. So when you sing every day, you're already warm. You know, you have to save the voice and not kill it with more exercise. So I think everybody has its different approach, different routine. But I don't think that overdo it helps. You know, I think it's better to try to rest. Don't go out after the show and talk to everybody for 1 hour screaming. That doesn't help. Don't smoke, obviously. Don't drink, or drink not so much, not every day. Drink in the days off, before the day off, so you have time to rest and recover. And that's it.
Even talking, even doing interviews before the show works as a warm up for me. Okay. Because you're still using your vocal cords, you know. You
are. You're still using your instrument. It's just for talking.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, are both of you like self-taught, or have you had any training?
No, I haven't had any training.
I had a little bit, mostly on the breathing. And because back then there wasn't really a school for extreme vocals, you know.
There still really isn't
now
too much.
There is a little bit, some methods and stuff, but back then we was all self-taught, obviously. But I did some classic vocal lessons, especially for the breathing. It helps a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you have had no lessons at all?
No.
Oh my goodness, you've got such a gorgeous supported voice.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
How have you found your voice has changed over time?
I think you just find out that about muscular memory. Yeah. So some songs are just like coming out naturally because you're so used to do it that it's like your body does it automatically, which is kind of cool. And maybe the fact that I'm self-taught, I have learned to sing my own way. So I know when to give it all. I know when I have to keep it back a bit, because I have to do something after it and I need more energy. So I've learned to go through waves, you know, during the show.
Okay.
Now I know when to keep it, just stay a little bit back, and when I can push it all through.
So you're really in touch with how things feel when you're on stage?
I try to. I mean, I love to interact with the crowds, but I always find, you know, my space in my bubble to focus on what I'm doing physically.
And is that similar for you, Andy?
Maybe unconsciously, like I don't really think about it, so maybe I know, but I think it's all about the way you feel. If you feel fine, like you're rested, you just go and your voice is no problem.
Yeah, you know? So physical check-in of we're
good. It's all about how tired you are. If you're tired, there's nothing you can do. You know, you're tired and your voice will be not great and you can push and you don't hear really well. So you have to go with the situation, especially because we play all kind of places. We play clubs, we play arenas, we play open airs, and sometimes you have sound checks, sometimes you don't. So you just have to be adaptable, and with the experience, you just know what you do.
Yeah, that is the problem with the voice. It's a physical instrument. I mean, there is no way that you can say like, well, yeah, I'm tired, but I still play the same.
Yeah.
If you're too tired or if you're sick, you will hear it.
Down for the count.
Yeah. There is no
trick.
No way.
You know, if you're tired, you're tired, and maybe people won't realize as much because you have a little bit of effect on the voice, a little bit. So maybe in the whole sound, in the entire sound will cover you a little bit because you're in between the instrument and. But other than that, there's not much you can do. You know, if you're tired, you're tired.
Okay. And speaking of things over time, I know that you have re-recorded some old songs. Mm-hmm. What was that process like? How was it different for you? Was it something that evolved over having to play these songs so often until now, or is it something you were like, we're starting from scratch?
It was very strange. It was really challenging. Basically, it was the 20th anniversary of a record called Comalize that we did in 2002. And we didn't want to simply do a remaster or a simple embellishment of the record. And then we started to think, what if we try to write it as we would have done it nowadays, you know, with the knowledge we have, with the technology we have, and trying to see what's coming out. And we love the process so much. We love the new song so much. And we're very happy about it actually, and the fans too.
We just didn't want to do just a remaster for the 20th anniversary. We want to do something a little more special.
Yeah.
And it was also a good excuse for us because we're coming from the pandemic, so we didn't have the feeling to go straight into a complete new record, because we want kind of get rid of that feeling of the pandemic a little bit at least. We don't want the new record to be focused on that time. We wanted to come out, maybe use some of that experience for sure, but not strictly talking about 2 years being at home, doing nothing. You know, normally we draw our inspiration from living, from traveling the world, meeting people, doing things, and a lot of the inspiration comes from what you experience. You know? So we've been lacking that experience for 2 years, so we didn't felt ready for a complete new record. So it was a good excuse to combine doing something special to celebrate the record, don't put the pressure of a new record to us, and also try something new for us, which was re-listen, re-record, and kind of go back to the memories of that time, you know, something a bit different.
And how did it feel for you guys when you finished it and you listened to it and you're like, this is it? Was it just relief, or was it...
You think about the pressure that followed along, because I mean, it's always weird when you touch holy grounds, and this is such a classic record for the fans, that once you have it and you listen to it, you kind of like breathe in, breathe out, and it's just like, we made it and it worked well. We're actually really proud of the result.
Well, I can imagine there's lots of memories tied from having toured that music, and of course playing to lots of different crowds. Has there been anything that comes to mind that you really enjoyed about a particular tour or a particular concert? It can be on stage, off stage, to do with people, bandmates.
We are talking about 25 years
I know.
of a career. It's really, really hard. There are so many moments. I mean, they're honestly countless. There are so many great festivals, so many moments we lived with other bands, within our bands, recording, traveling. Way too many. Way too many. Ozfest 2004.
Probably is the tour that kind of defines us as an international touring band compared to previous experiences. So that was the moment where we felt the band was growing into something else, something bigger than we ever expected it to become. And so that was probably the tour we will always remember as the most precious. The first time we were in the same line with bands like Slipknot, Judas Priest, Slayer, Black Sabbath, you know, the bands that we only saw on magazines before that day, you know. So
were those the kinds of bands that you like draw influence from, or who are the people who musically influence you as either singers or writers, or just for you to get into a zone where you feel like you can write?
I mean, we listen to so many bands that it's hard to pick up, like, we've been inspired by this. I think it all comes together with life experiences as well. It might not even be just bands, it might be like a soundtrack or a book that inspires something. We always say that our biggest inspiration is life. You know, just like being on tour, meeting people, talking about things that can just like
get the
sparkle. You just get, you know, just like, oh wow,
amazing.
And you can get inspired on something new.
We can say that when we started as a band, what made us decide to go more towards the atmospherical, darker side of metal has been bands like Typo Negative, Paradise Lost, and then also Alice in Chains. Those bands were the ones that we were really taking the direction to go more in the darker side. Before that, there was also obviously Pantera, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Slayer, all the classics. But those bands are the one that made us decide to try and go and do something a little different.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly listening to the records over time, I can hear you like playing with different things, like orchestrally, and then things that are a little bit heavier in one song versus a little bit lighter in another. It's really amazing being able to listen to sort of the musical journey over time, but also listening to some of the production journeys over time. So like listening to some of the older tracks versus the kind of production you can put on things now is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy because I mean, life, of course, changes, evolves. So there are new things to try, and we're always open to new things. We like to experiment with new sounds, with new technologies, new ways of like approach the songwriting as well. I think it's interesting not only on the artistic point of view, but also keeps you interested in what you're doing. You know, keeps your mind fresh and just like, all right, let's try something new. Let's go for it, and let's learn something. See, they agree.
So we're also that kind of band that always look also to the current bands. We're not just taking inspiration from the past, but we also not because somebody just come after you, it doesn't mean it has nothing to teach you, you know.
Yeah,
Sometimes
okay.
you can, because I think the approach the younger band has is obviously different than ours, as much as ours was different from the previous band. So there's always something to learn, maybe not strictly on how you write a song or how you arrange a song, but more on the way you approach the songwriting, on the way you approach the freshness of the sound.
So like a different lens.
So you learn from the past, but you also learn from the current bands, you know, even if they're younger than you.
That's pretty refreshing to hear. Okay, last question. It's a bit of a silly one. If you could swap for a day, like a body swap, with any other member of your band, including getting their skills, who would you swap with?
I would swap with Maki, our bass player, so I could learn how to use Photoshop properly, because he's a great graphic as well. Like,
wow, amazing.
He's really good. He's self-taught in music, and also like he made a lot of graphics for us, and he's so good. So I would just like do that.
That's
so he can
incredible.
learn a skill.
I think all of us males in the band would try to be Cristina, because obviously we've never been a girl, so.
Okay.
It would be like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
chatting
you.
with me.
Thank you.
Great to get some more insight on those
Thank you
questions
so
and what
much.
it's like to be a successful band who's been able to just keep pushing and put out something new that people really connect with and enjoy.
He's just good. I mean, we're so thankful that we can do what we love for a living. And we are so appreciative because, I mean, even though we are on stage performing, it's all about the crowds. We experienced in 2020 a show that we streamed worldwide in Milano, from Milano, without a crowd because it was under the pandemic, and it was awful. I mean, it was good because we were starting to play again after the lockdown, but it was awful to play in front of no one, because it's all about a circular energy in between the crowd, the artist, the crowd artist, crowd artist.
Yeah, the vibe was completely missing without the crowd, so hopefully we never had to do that again.
Yeah, well, Lacuna
So
Coil
we're so
fans, you
thankful.
can see that they love you as much as you love them. So thank you
We
so
do.
much for joining me.
Thank you.
And I hope that your set goes amazing here and that you enjoy the time you have left in Brisbane or
Thank
Australia
you.
and enjoy the koalas.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Alright,
much.
Cool. You guys can actually hold this microphone if
Yes.
you want, or I can hold it, but up to you. Okay.
Cosa faccio? Tengo io. Okay. Oh, it's light.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
L'ho sentito, l'ho dato io.
It's really tiny. Yeah.
Wow.
It's got one of these little ones hidden.
Because
in it.
I'm used to have a the
Yeah.
stage microphone.
A little bit more
super,
heft.
super heavy.
A little bit more heft to it.
Yeah, this
yes.
is like wow.
But
I'm impressed. It's so light. It's like it's weird.
it is weird. Do you want to